So I'm getting ready to do a fuel filter on the old Dodge. I do those a couple times a year. I started thinking, I wonder how old my lift pump is. I put a FAS on this thing when I got it, and I've had this thing probably 20 years. So I started going, might be time to check and make sure that my 20-some-year-old lift pump is still pumping. So I jumped on the internet and thought, well, heck, there's got to be a kit out there somewhere for it, right? Not really. A couple guys are saying, yeah, you can just crack open the water separator and count how many, ounces you get in 30 seconds or something like that to calculate it. I just want to put a mechanical gauge on it. It should be, I want to say factory specs like 5 or 7 pounds. The FAS and air dogs and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure they're preset like 15 to 17 pounds. So somewhere in there is reasonable. I have also found that even if you have engine off or engine idle, testing fuel pressure on pumps, you can get yourself into trouble real quick if you're not testing it, driving it under load, that kind of situation. So I like being able to test my supply pump as I'm driving it, give it some throttle, give it some RPM, make sure that it's still keeping up and that it's healthy. Not finding any kits, so I decided, well, we're gonna make one. So stay tuned, and we'll see if we can't get this done fairly cheap. I'm guessing there's 2 different ways I can go about it. The way I'm gonna go about it would probably take about $40. If you wanna just test to see if it's either working or not working at idle or whatever, you should be able to get away with it for like $25. So goal is under $40 and as easy as possible. Let's get started.
I removed the fitting out of the back of the fuel filter housing. I found a nice adapter that'll go right in between there and the bowl. This is a grease gun extension hose, about 80 inches. I have 1/8 pipe female adapter. All of this stuff, I want to say the gauge and the adapter was $11, $12 a piece. This little female to female was $3.50, I want to say. And then this hose was $13 or something like that. So this will get it up onto the windshield area where you can actually watch while you're driving. And that's kind of what my whole focus is on testing a pump. So let me get this all screwed together quick and installed on the truck, and I'll show you exactly where it goes.
A little hard to see, but that's about the best I can get. The adapter's in, and it just so happened that it lined up perfectly, sticking straight up to screw my hose into, if you can see there. I was thinking if I had a problem with clocking it right to get that 1/8 inch test port sticking up or be able to get the hose on it, that I could just stick another copper washer in between. It should give you enough room to crush it down to get it clocked properly. But that 80-inch hose is long enough you can get the darn thing in the window of the truck. So it might have gone a little overboard on the size of the hose, but yeah, let me get the filter changed quick, and then I'm gonna fire it up and make sure everything doesn't have any leaks, and we'll take her for a drive. Since I'm not gonna watch the gauge, I'll just record it, but let's see what she does. I think she might have dropped. I just got a phone with the tech at AirDog. Told him that, it was idling 16 pounds-ish, 17-ish, dropped down to around 11 or so under full throttle load. He didn't seem too concerned, said that pretty much anything over 10's fine, and that it stabilized after the initial drop and didn't continue to lose pressure as you laid into it. Seems to be that the pump's still fine, which is awesome. I'm glad I tested it and know at least. I was kind of starting to question, just because of its age, if it was still healthy or not. So that was kind of the reason why, like I mentioned earlier, always good to test a fuel pump under load. A lot of them can be fine, but they might not be running 100%. So that'll also let you know if you have major restrictions in the tank or anything like that. He said that if you wanted to, you could also test like voltage at the pump, make sure it's getting at least 12.5 volts. You drop the tank again, check the straw. But he said pretty much, I think you're fine. So let me know what you think. If you got any questions, I'll put all these piece parts links in the description so you guys can replicate it if you want. Everything is off Amazon, like I said. Should get you there for $40 or so, and be able to just confirm You know, if you don't want to do the hose, I don't know why. It's just going to let you know that either your pump works or not, in my opinion. So let me know if you got any questions, and thanks for watching.